What's happening here in this infested area is that you again have these horizontal sprayers which are distributing water at the end of the radius and having this fan just completely pass over most of the grass in between. You also have a situation where this one just won't make it over the blades and it's just soaking everything there. What you tend to have are areas that are far drier and then far wetter than the other areas just a few feet away from it. And this kind of infestation that you're having is really contributed to by overwatering. You're growing a worm farm right in these areas, most likely because if you don't water the kind of frequency and volume that you're currently watering, that you tend to get a lot of brown spots. In this very shaded area, you don't get the kind of respiration that you need for the volume of water that you're putting down. Evening out the application of water and making adjustments to something like that, which is just shooting over all of this area here, can help having really wet spots here, really dry spots there, having to overwater to make sure that this drier spot at least stays green, and contributing to all of this worm fest that's going in here. You even out the moisture of your soil, you even out the worm population in this case, which is what's contributing to it, and you're helping your own effort of aiding our treatment here and keeping these guys out for a long time. Throughout your property, you're getting your lawn watered unevenly. So you can see this head right here, these are horizontal sprayers. They're pop-up sprayers. What they do is they deliver water to about that area. Without another head covering the zone it's shooting over, you're getting a lot of wet on the outside of the radius and very little on the inside. You're getting it blocked here. You're getting another head right here that's just shooting over all this and into foliage, so that you're getting wet spots around very dry spots. And having wet around dry is really one of the things that makes your lawn susceptible to infestation. As we go throughout your property, we'll be looking at other instances of this. Okay, we're in the front left of the drive. Once again, you have to overwater this section simply because some portions of it are just dying because there's not enough direct application from your irrigation system. Because you're having to water so much to these brown sections just to keep them alive, the actual landing points of from your heads are really getting an oversaturation. Where it's shaded and where it's covered in mulch, which holds the water in, you're getting almost no respiration here. It stays overly wet. This is a worm farm right in here, which is really going to act as a lure for further infestation. Being able to even this out will let you get more moisture to this area, maintaining your grass quality and letting you cut down on the actual rate or volume of your irrigation. Same thing here. You see the brown patches. These are areas that your irrigation isn't hitting. You do have areas that, like this head, will just barely hit this area, but because it's mulch, because it's shaded, it holds on to the moisture well. That's an area that the mole has interest in. You see this dry area that's close to it. Although moles can be attracted to dry parts of property, that doesn't appear to be the situation that we've seen so far. It seems to be all over too much moisture contributing to the infestation. Again, the recommendation, try to even out the application, then water at a rate that you're able to control the moisture so that you're having some surface drying, but deep watering to allow for even moisture throughout the property. In the back corner of the property, there will always be some bushes and things that you'll just want to trim back. This one has the foliage of the hedge just blocking the irrigation. What's happening is you're getting a pretty big drip line right around there. It's not affecting things now, but it's the kind of thing that you want to be aware of, just so you can make sure to clip your branches and shrubs back so that you have so that they're not obstructing the flow of the irrigation. Okay, as we talked about, and I think you're already aware, your irrigation here is set to a stream. What you're not getting is irrigation to areas like this. What's happening is the stream is going and landing about 20 feet away from the head. It's not having even coverage throughout its radius, So you're getting drier spots in just kind of an area of wetter sort of W's, or the end of these radii. What you really want to do is you want to go and get to the top of these heads, and you'll see right here, where is it? Right there is a notch where you can insert whatever the tool is, an Allen wrench, a key that you get from the manufacturer, or a Phillips screwdriver, and you want to turn that a little bit to the right so that you're getting more of an even application. Again, having evenly watered lawn avoids having really wet areas, which are sometimes the areas of infestation, or else those areas that are being shot over, which produces or encourages an entirely different food source, which moles can often be attracted to. Now, you don't have that problem in here, probably because this area is so landlocked, but typically this area with this kind of irrigation setting is really susceptible. My recommendation is tune it down so that you have even coverage throughout the radius of each head and have an even application throughout this area. In the backyard, sure, you already understand that your irrigation's improperly set. The area that you're having infestation, which is that area, is the landing spot for everything. This one is misting over there because it's set to a nice mist. This one is landing in that infested area. This one's landing in that infested area, and that one's landing in the infested area. The reason that it's infested is because it's catching all the water intended for this whole area. So if you adjust them to mist them down for an even application, you're not going to have these overly and underwatered spots. Plus, you're going to have better grass quality, requiring less water and saving you money with that. Throughout your property, you'll see little holes like this one, about the size of a quarter or so. These are caused by voles with a V. They're mostly like mice, and those are not reactive to our soil treatment. Instead, those have to be trapped. If you wanted us to do it, it's $99 to set traps, and it is $49 per catch. The only downside is that they eat the roots of plants, and if you once you have mole evacuation, they tend to take over the tunnels, and they can multiply. So if they tend to get out of hand, you'll want to address it, but you'll notice them by having these little tiny holes that are kind of throughout the landscape. They really like it in the beds, but you may find them elsewhere.